students. In this video we are going to see chapter 6 tissues part 2. And students, in part 1 we discussed about what are tissues, division of labor and plant tissues. In this part we are going to see what are called permanent tissues and their types, simple tissue and complex tissue. And what are called permanent tissues? Before that, I want to recall about meristematic tissue, which we discussed in part 1. What are called meristematic tissue? Meristematic tissues or tissues which have ability to divide. Meristematic tissues are called dividing cells, that are called meristematic tissues. And now what is permanent tissue? Permanent tissue is a tissue which is transformed from meristematic tissue. I'll explain. Meristematic tissue undergoes cell division, and after maturation, this meristematic tissue loses its dividing ability. And after losing its dividing ability, it is transformed to permanent tissue by attaining permanent shape, permanent size and permanent function. This is called permanent tissue. So permanent tissue is transformed meristematic tissue. This permanent tissue is transformed from meristematic tissue through the process called differentiation. The differentiation process helps in conversion of meristematic tissues to permanent tissue. So what is called differentiation? Differentiation process is a process of permanent tissue attaining its permanent shape, permanent size and permanent function. So that is called permanent tissues. Now we'll see the types of permanent tissue. There are two types of permanent tissue. One is simple permanent tissues and another one is complex permanent tissues. So we'll see about simple permanent tissues. Simple permanent tissue, there one important cell is called parenchyma. Parenchyma is the type of simple tissue which forms a basic packing tissues in all parts of a plant like stem, root and leaf, and it is a live cell, and also it is arranged with many intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces is nothing but spaces between the cells, and it provides support. This parenchyma cells provide support and also stores food. There are many types of parenchyma cells like chlorenchyma, Parenchyma, collenchyma, sclerenchyma and epidermal cells. So we'll see what are they. Chlorenchyma cell is a type of parenchyma cell. When a parenchyma cell consists of chlorophyll, that type of parenchyma cells are called chlorenchyma. So the parenchyma cells consists of containing chlorophyll is called chlorenchyma. So the function of chlorenchyma is undergoing photosynthesis because of the presence of chlorophyll. So it is present in all green parts of a plant. Next one is parenchyma. Some parenchyma cells consist of air cavities inside it. So this air cavities helps in floating of plants on the surface of the water. This type of parenchyma cells, that is parenchyma, is present in hydrophytes. Hydrophytes are the plants which live in water. So this type of parenchyma cell is present in hydrophytes. This helps in biobuoyancy, that is floating on the surface of the water. Next one is collenchyma cells. Some parenchyma cells contains irregular thickening in the corner of the cells. This type of parenchyma cell is called collenchyma cells. This provides flexibility to the stem and leaf. Flexibility, it can be bent without breaking. So that type of cells are called collenchyma cells. And sclerenchyma cells, some parenchyma cells consists of lignin inside the cell. This lignin is like a cement material which gives hardness to the cell, and also it gives stiffness to the cell. Example, husk of coconut. So it is very hard and it is stiff, and also it gives mechanical strength to the plants. That type of parenchyma cells are called sclerenchyma cells. And epidermal cells are the cells which is present in the epidermis layer or protective layer, that is called epidermal cells. This provides protection to the part of the plant. This epidermal cells are present in leaf, stem and roots. So these are the types of parenchyma cells, and parenchyma cell is a best example of simple. Next we are going to see complex tissues. Complex tissue is another type of permanent tissue. Complex tissue is composed of more than one type of cells. So they are called complex tissues. There are two types of complex tissues. They are xylem and phloem. Xylem and phloem are the cells which perform same function, that is conduction. The conduction is the function of xylem and phloem. But xylem conducts water materials and phloem conducts food materials. There are many types of xylem and phloem. They are xylem materials. Xylem types are xylem tracheids, xylem vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem fibers. The types of phloem are seed tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. Now we'll see the functions of xylem. Xylem is a type of complex tissue which conducts water materials. And imagine this is a plant. Xylem conducts water materials. Both xylem and phloem are the tube-like structure which is present in the stem. Xylem materials conducts water which is absorbed by the root. The water is absorbed by the root from the soil. Xylem which is present in the stem, it takes the water which is present in the root and it conducts or transports water from the root to the leaf, because leaf need water for the process of photosynthesis, and these all materials of xylem helps in conduction of water. And the direction of materials in xylem is unidirectional, because the water materials through xylem transports from root to the leaf, that is from downwards to upwards. So the direction is unidirectional. And next one is phloem. This transports food materials. This is a conducting vessels which transports food materials. That is, the food is prepared in the leaf and it is transported to flower and the root which cannot undergo photosynthesis because of the lack of chlorophyll. So the food from the leaf is transported to the flower which is on the top. So from leaf to flower, that is from downwards to upwards, and the leaf, the food prepared by the leaf is transported to the root from upwards to downwards. So the direction of phloem is bidirectional. Thank you, students.